theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
The book of Psalms, chapter 16 and verse 11. It says, "Thou wilt show me the path of life." So we're on the path of life. The path of life leads to paradise. The path of life leads to glory, which the glory is the kingdom of heaven. And we're on that path of life. We're walking on the path of the tree of life to gain eternal life.
Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
To eternal peace and joy.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful that got there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Makakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. All right. And what I want to get into this morning, all right, dealing with the morning news and prophecy, is a war on data centers, and other, wickedness. I gotta change the title. But the war on data centers, and other wickedness, because what we're seeing now, is more people, are beginning, to oppose these data centers. Okay, Esau Edom, in his wicked attempt to establish this new world order. Well, what's being found out, is the key component, all right, to this new world order is the data centers. Okay, because the data centers, all right, that's the brains. Okay, that's the hardware needed, okay, to run this new world order infrastructure. Okay, and as people are finding out that these things are extremely harmful, okay, to the environment, to the people, all right, to the land, to the earth, okay, destroying communities, destroying farmland, destroying water, all right, creating these higher light bills, okay, this continuous noise, and so forth and so on. All right, what you're having is more people, all right, are getting directly, okay, involved in trying to stop, all right, the rollout of these data centers, okay. And this is good, and this also goes into the devil knowing he had but a short time, because the longer he's taking to pull this off, the more resistance, all right, that he's beginning to get. Okay, and this is why we're going to see this man, what, like a madman, sparing none. Okay, coming down with great wrath, because he have a short time. Because the longer that he waits to do this, the more people begin to resist what he's trying to do. Okay, which is going to make this devil, okay, have to throw this thing into another gear. You know, so let's go. Let's get a couple precepts. Changing this title. Okay. Let's get a couple precepts, and I got a couple videos to get into. All right, just to show, all right, what's happening, man. And this is all prophecy, speaking. Okay. Now, when you go here, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 3. All right, verse uh 24. I get straight to the point. It says this Mark 3 and 24. It says, and if a kingdom, this is how shall speaking. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And we know we are this man's end. Okay? This man is at the end of his rulership. Okay? And what we're seeing is a divide on every level. Because when you go into this word divided, which we always get into it, okay, but you go into this word divided, okay, because the Lord is ending Esau's empire, and one of the tokens of his end will be the division, okay, that we will see amongst these Edomites, man. Okay, let's play
Strong's G 3307, Merizo.
Marizo. Marizo. Okay, it says to divide, to separate into parts, to cut into pieces, to divide into parties, i.e., to be split into factions, man. And there's splits amongst the elites, in fighting about, what control system, okay, what model, they want to run this new world order with, this technocracy, which we know they all agree on the technocracy. All right, these elite families, okay, the governments of these other nations, they fully agree with the technocracy, complete digital control. Okay, but you got different factions even amongst the elites, man. Okay, and even amongst the elite, all right, and the common Edomites, there's a faction, man. Okay, there's a small percentage, all right, of these oligarchs, these elite, wicked families, and then you have the masses, okay, of these Edomites that are being cut out to play. They've been completely cut out of the play, man. You see? And now there's a major divide between Esau, okay, and his elites, because these are your elites. You see? So now what we're seeing at the end of this man's kingdom, okay, is just more a great divide. It's going to be more division, and eventually, all right, the elites and these coming Edomites gonna clash, man. It's going to lead to civil war. Okay, the scriptures say Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay, it's going to lead to the elites, as they coming down with great wrath. Okay, because the elites they tired of trying to be politically correct. Okay, you know, trying to go about this thing, with just secrecy, man. It's to the point that they just gonna have to come out with it and just come with the hammer. They gonna just have to come with it and enforce this thing through blood. Okay, they gonna have to deal with this rebellion against this new world order. Okay, you see, every hand of the wicked is starting to be upon them, man. Let's get that real quick. think that's in Job. Okay. But this tension between the elites, which we're seeing, these conflicts and these wars, okay, and then you're seeing the domestic tension in America between, all right, the have-not Edomites, okay, and the upper echelon of Esau, man, okay. So this man is divided on every level, okay. That's a token of his end, okay. This is Job 20:22 says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, okay. And straits is a place of difficulty, man, okay. Okay, let's see if it give us something when you go into this word straits. Okay, it's a position of difficulty, man. Okay, it's the word in Hebrew, Yashar or Yatazar. Okay, it says to bind, to be distressed, to be in distress, to be cramped. Okay, to be narrow. You see, to cause distress, and see, he's feeling it on every side, man. He has the prophets, okay, telling him what he's going to do next, and he's subjugated to doing exactly what the will of the Lord is, man. So he's trying to come at and do angle, he's doing a lot of pump faking. And you see, but the Lord putting the pressure on this nigga to come on with it. See, Esau, all right, he's in distress, man. All right, this is a man that's in distress. This is not a man, okay, that has everything figured out and everything is going exactly according to plan. No, this nigga is trying to, okay, pull off a miracle, man, on the left-hand side, man. Okay, with this new world order, man. This is a Hail Mary he's throwing, man. Okay? So this man is in scrapes. Certain things, I say, are not going how this devil wants them to go. Okay? And then he's getting, resistance from all sides, man. Okay? To the point to where he's having to expose particular things to try to, create distractions. Okay? He's having to, pull off multiple crises, poly crisis at the same time, which all this is prophecy, man. Okay, and you best believe he's trying his best not to go about this the way that the prophets are saying that he has to do this, man. But he has no choice. Okay, and the longer that he prolongs it's only narrowing his chances, which he doesn't have a chance. Okay. Fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay, and the wicked goes back to the Hebrew word amal, which goes into your labor, the laboring class. All right, which the prophets come from, the laboring class, and then you have, all right, these blue collar Edomites. Okay, that's beginning to rebel against the system, man. Okay, so the devil, he's catching it, on every side. All right, so let's go from there. Let's play this first video. Because now they want to deem you a domestic terrorist, okay, for being against data centers. Okay, so now you have this talking point. You see, this is desperation for a nigga that's losing, man. Okay, this is desperation from someone that's losing. Okay, so let's play a little bit of this.
We have to re-look at everything because of the role of drone warfare.
He floats the idea there of building data centers underground. Imagine the disruptive effects something that large being built underground.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
Hey, it's JT Siskowski with Status Coup. One of the biggest corporate vampires in the entire world is saying that people who oppose AI data centers could be labeled as domestic terrorists and signaling that perhaps AI data centers should actually become AI data bunkers and built underground to avoid public scrutiny and the potential for sabotage by people who do not want these structures built. Don't just take my word for it. Hear from BlackRock's Larry Fink in his own words.
But now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security and the need for rebuilding the GCC region, to rebuild it to in a position where it's not going to be obstructed by drone warfare. So many more things going to have to be underground. But even here in the United States, if we're going to be building, let's say, these 1 gigawatt data centers, how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments? We have to relook at everything because of the role of drone warfare. Right now, we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is, could it be a domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone?
So listen what these niggas are saying, man. And you had, and this guy, Larry Fink, all right, with the CEO of BlackRock. All right, BlackRock is a branch, all right, of the Rothschild financing, okay, empire, man. Okay, so when you deal with BlackRock, there's nothing but a Rothschild group that's used, the Rothschild used BlackRock to buy up, all right, assets. Okay, because you go into most of these houses that they're turning in, they're turning these houses into rentals where it's BlackRock, okay, that's buying up a lot of the housing market, okay, which is the Rothschilds, man. Okay. A lot of things, these businesses that go under is BlackRock that's purchasing, okay, the assets throughout the earth, man. You see, which is part of that agenda. You will own nothing and be happy, okay? But when you go into these data centers now, all right, because Iran struck, data centers in the UAE, I know it was Amazon, Google, all right, because they were saying that they was using AI, okay, in the war. So the data centers was playing a part in this war that the small hats and America was waging against Iran. And Iran took out some data centers, you know. So he's saying, look, with this drone warfare, we need to build the data centers on the ground, even over here in America. Okay, we need to start building them on the ground because you can have domestic terrorists. All right, he said with a $3,000 drone, okay, you're gonna destroy a $80 billion data center, man. As if it's the common American. Cause then he said 3,000 because it's something that he's saying that the average American can afford. Okay, so he's linking, once again, it's double, the craftiness of his wordplay. Okay, what is he saying that these people that's opposed to data centers are ultimately domestic terrorists, man? Okay, and this is what this man is getting ready to do, man. He's finna push propaganda, okay, that the people that are against data centers are against progress, or against, all right, this AI utopia that they want to bring, that they want to gift humanity with, man. Okay, we're going to be at the forefront of it, man. Okay, but this part of what this devil got to do, and it's all, and he's doing this while he's losing, man. Okay, he has to do all this while losing, okay, while being removed from power, man. So let's play this.
He's talking about in the context of the war in Iran, that drones being sent out by the Iranian state as part of its counterattacks to the US and Israel's offensive war have proven successful in targeting infrastructure in other Gulf Coast countries. He's taking those lessons and thinking about it in the context of all of the money that his firm, BlackRock, is pouring into AI data centers right now, and is thinking, these billion-dollar data centers that we're building sure could be disrupted by what he calls terrorists. But of course, the old saying, one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. that people who oppose data centers could be using drones in the same way to sabotage domestic data center infrastructure. He floats the idea there of having Gulf countries rebuild a lot of their oil infrastructure underground, and is then drawing the parallels to security concerns here in the United States, floating the idea of building data centers underground. We have already seen the intense demand and effects that building these data centers have on water tables across the world at this point, where people are reporting their wells running dry or having problems with their water as a result just of these above ground data centers being built, not to mention the runoff that happens into surface water from the construction of these data centers, et cetera, et cetera. Imagine how much more invasive that could become if these data centers, some of which are on the scale of, or being compared to the size of Manhattan for their scale, these hyperscale data out right now. Imagine the disruptive effects something that large being built underground is going to have on perhaps your local water table, because don't forget, just because it's not being built in your backyard right now doesn't mean that it isn't going to be built soon. Larry Fink in that clip was speaking to the Global Conference, which is a conference that is hosted by the Milken Institute, which is one of these quote unquote nonpartisan but avowedly pro-corporate think tanks here in the US. And he was joined on that panel by Bruce Flatt, who is the CEO of Brookfield, which is another one of these massive private equity firms that is also dumping billions of dollars into data center buildouts right now. And Bruce Flatt just openly admitted that these data centers are going to be coming to your backyard as well, because he and the other billionaires like Larry Fink, like Bruce Flatt, are trying to rewire the global economy. And I want you to pay attention to what he doesn't say in this answer.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining.
What he doesn't address in talking about rewiring the global economy is any mention of how workers are going to fare.
We have been, and we still are, and for the next 10 years we will be, rewiring the global economy to lay the networks that we laid before, which were highways, utilities, railways. And now we're laying cloud, artificial intelligence factories, and data centers. And that, on the fundamental basis, that's what's happening. So there will be $10 trillion from power, AI, factories, data centers, and fiber build out laid to basically rewire the world for the new economy that's coming.
And the new economy is digital, and it's going to be a system of complete control. All right. The MOTB system, all right, which is going to have programmable money, all right, 24/7 surveillance, okay, restrictions, all right, a social credit score, all right, to where your behavior determines your access, okay, to the system, man. Okay, your access to essentials. Okay, and look at these devils, man. Just look at Esau. Look at this nigga, man. How these niggas, look at the posture of this nigga, man. Okay. It's time to get these Edomites out of here, man. It's time to get these Edomites off stage, man. Okay, there's the only thing left is judgment for Esau, man. Okay? These niggas ain't right. This is the problem of the planet Earth. These Edomites with all this authority and power to make these decisions for the earth, man. Okay? This is the problem of the earth, man. Edomite males, all right? And the Edomite woman, okay, is a problem, okay? She's not the forefront of decision making now. She's going to be right beside this nigga in captivity, okay? She going to get that same work that this nigga get. You see? But when you look at the problem of the planet Earth, we're looking at the problem, man. These Edomites, and there's Edomites above them with more authority and power, man. Okay? That's the problem. Okay? That's why Yahweh shot. And if a brother can post that, Isaiah, all right, 63 and 1, well, let's play a little more of this, man. Okay? All these niggas do is talk about what they gonna do next, man. It's as if they don't have no end. Okay? So let's play this.
He's talking about trillions of dollars of build out, trillions of dollars that are invested in this bubble right now, the AI bubble, to do these massive data center build outs that are leading to all kinds of pollution and poisoning of communities across the US right now. And all of the local opposition be damned, apparently. And that figure that he's citing there, trillions of dollars, is not an exaggeration, or at least not baseless. This is analysis from McKinsey, and that is one of those soulless corporate advisory companies that always usually just advises companies to do more. And they found that $7 trillion is being put towards a data center of the build-outs in modern history. By our estimates, global spending on data centers could reach $7 trillion by 2030. Whether a build-out is successful depends on many nuances, including the availability of capital and energy resources. Well, the capital appears to be there because those two CEOs that we just heard from of massive private equity firms are busy dumping billions upon billions of dollars into these build-outs. So the capital's there. The energy also seemingly will be there because there is talk of not shuttering fossil fuel plants to continue to allow them to burn fossil fuels and accelerate global warming, all in the name of sponsoring this $7 trillion AI build out for a product that's not even clear exactly what it will be used for, how useful it will. I can tell you from firsthand experience and reporting that people in these communities sure as hell don't want these data centers built near them. I was recently in Janesville, Wisconsin, where there was probably one of the most on the nose metaphors for how our economy is being changed right now in this late stage capitalist neoliberal era, where we are watching on the site of a former GM plant in that community where it used to employ thousands of people with good union jobs. That factory closed during the economic crisis of 2009 and now is being replaced or proposed to be replaced with an AI data center. I spoke to some of the activists there on the ground who are opposing that data center about some of the concerns that they have around what AI will exactly do in their lives.
We don't know how these systems work to some extent, and they're not working in a way that is democratized or in the power of the people. It's the choices that are being made sort of way above our pay grade, and we're just down here downstream of the effects.
If you believe in being able to hear from real.
So yeah, man, this is more common, to see people now are directly opposing these data centers, man. So now these devils, are spinning it like, look, if you're against these data centers, you must be a domestic terrorist. You want to stop progress. And then that's another thing too. Then a brother can post it in Psalms 10, Psalms chapter 10, verses 2, 3, and 4, Bob Bashar. I'm gonna cue up this other video and then get these precepts. But yeah, when you go into this whole thing with, as if they're in this big race, this AI race with China, and if they don't win the AI race, okay, then China, could just do this invasion of America and just have this great advantage and all. No, man, that's not the case, man. Now, China is going to play a part, okay, when the kings of the East, fully come against, Babylon and the small heads. All right, they're going to join the war with Iran on the side of Iran and Russia. Okay, with this whole AI thing, they use that so they can say that, look, okay, AI is a national security now, because if we lose the AI race, all right, then China becomes a threat. Okay, and if they deem something a national security, that gives them the leeway to do eminent domain. Okay, because if they can just say, okay, it's a national security and pay the people the market price for the property, well, they can do eminent domain. Okay, so let's go here real quick. Cue this video up. Let's get some precept. So yeah, these devils,
This is a follow-up video to the one that I did yesterday where Kevin O'Leary accused.
So these devils, they're just getting ready, to just go full throttle, because the spirit of the Lord is making them do this, man. Okay, because it's leading to his end. Everything that he's doing is bringing him to the king of terror. So brother want to get that as well. I think that's Joel 18, I think around 5 verse 11 to 12. Okay, because it's bringing him to Yahushua. Okay, so every step that he makes towards his new world order is bringing him closer to Yahushua, and he finished. Okay, because Yahushua is going to deal with the Edomite problem in the earth, man. And this prophecy goes into Isaiah 63:1. Who is that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his script. Okay, so this is Yahushua dealing with the Edomite problem of the earth, man. He's going to wage war against these devils, man. All right, and these heathen nations that's in league with this devil. Okay. So Yahushua coming back to deal with the Edomite problem of the earth, man. And it's gonna be a slaughter. Okay, and it's gonna be a removal, it's gonna be a forced removal from power. Okay. It said, I that speak in righteousness mighty to save, man. Yeah, save the elect, because in the midst of Yahushua judging Esau and his heathens, he's gonna deliver his elect. And we're gonna be changed simultaneously, man. How great is that? You see? So let's Yep, the brother got this one. Yeah, let's get that. This is Jeremiah 49:8, the brother beyond Yashala. It said, flee ye, turn back. It said, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him the time that I will visit him, man. So the Lord's going to bring that calamity on Esau, man. Okay, and all you devils going to get it. You devils complaining about your elites and the elites themselves. All you finna be judged, man. Okay, the Lord finna lump all you niggas up. Okay, and judge all you Edomites, man. All right, from the richest elites, all right, to the poorest Edomite trash. Okay, are gonna get judged, man. Okay, so this is Psalms 10:2. This is brother Yashima, tribe of Judah, said, the wicked in the pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Yeah, and this thing that he's imagining, this new world order, he's going to be taken while trying to roll this thing out. Okay, and he has a mindset to continue, okay, to just persecute the poor, to pursue the poor. Okay, and beginning with what the tribes. Okay, because you Edomites, all right, that are complaining. Well, guess what? This devil's been doing this for centuries to everybody else. Now he's just doing it to his own. Okay, and you Americans, have had this idea of exceptionalism, like America is the exception to the rule. Okay, this entitlement, this let's go in, this certain lifestyle, okay, that you Americans have been accustomed to, this certain, safety, you haven't had to worry about, an invading army, okay, or constant wars being fought in your land, like these Edomites fight wars everywhere else. All right, this American military, you see, but now, all right, the you're the target. You American Edomites, you Americans in general, okay, when you American Edomites who've enjoyed, okay, the privilege, these certain privileges are now the target, man. And it's good to see, all right, these Edomites fall out, these elites, and their different factions that they have amongst one another, okay, and you poor Edomites, okay, you everyday Edomites, you see, going to war against your elites, man. So the Lord God to wide enemy, man, they all over the place, man. You see? So it says, for the wicked boasted of his heart's desire. Yeah, this nigga boasting of this new world order. Like them three niggas on stage, at these different conferences. All right. Niggas sitting on stage with legs crossed, okay. Talking about what he's finna do next, and we finna build this out and 10 trillion, and this is the new, industrial age, and just the AI, this, and we gotta get this going, and this what we got next in 2030. And this nigga talk like he ain't got no end, man. Okay, there's him boasting in his heart desire, man, because this man wants to play the Most High. That's his heart desire. He wants the birthright and he wants to undermine the Most High's authority, man. Okay, and that's this man's heart's desire. But that's when, okay, the Lord going to show him, man, that he's just a man. Okay, our power is going to show Esau that he's a man. You see, it says, and bless the covetous, okay, and the covetous are these elite families, man. Okay, because this system is meant to just bless, all right, these few oligarchs that run the world. Okay, whom the Lord abhorred, and the Lord not dealing with these with this new world order agenda, man. Okay, the Lord got this nigga set up, to achieve certain steps within this agenda. All right, he's gonna judge his ass, man. Okay, Esau was set up for failure, man. Verse 4 says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance would not seek after the Most High, for the Most High is not in all his thoughts. Okay, so this man is making moves as if the Most High, okay, ain't able to judge, man. This man, he's so prideful that he's just making all these moves to try to roll this thing out as if the Most High not gonna intervene, man. The Most High is not in his thoughts, man. This man, he's delusional. There's no one that's more deceived and delusional than Esau. And the Lord used Esau to spread deception and to have people delusional, but there's no one more delusional than Esau. Look at what he's trying to do. Okay, you have to be completely delusional, man. All right, to try to pull this off. What this devil is trying to do, man. And this, all right, is the Lord's will. Okay, this is the Lord's plan, man. Okay, to set Esau up for complete failure, man. All right, so let's play this. Okay, just look at listen to the wickedness of these devils, man.
Uses these two women right here of being This is a follow-up video to the one that I did yesterday where Kevin O'Leary accuses these two women right here of being Communist Chinese Party representatives and operatives trying to subvert his desire to build the biggest data center in the entire world, 62 square miles. You heard that right. A 62 square mile data center, 2.5 times, they say, the size of Manhattan. Anyway, he accuses them of being Chinese operatives. They call him out, push back, insist to their audience that they are just regular, organic people from Utah who care about their state and don't want it taken over by the billionaire political class or the AI tech bros. And it's kind of started a firestorm on the internet, which led them to further investigate Kevin O'Leary, the Stratos project, which is the meta data center project that O'Leary wants to implement in Box Elder County, Utah. And it caused them to ask the simple question, qui bono? Who's going to benefit from this data center, surveillance center arrangement? So they decided to just go ahead and ask questions and follow the money. That's exactly what they did, and this is what they uncovered. We're going to take a look at it and possibly make some comments along the way.
So after Kevin O'Leary went on Fox News to accuse us of being operatives for the Chinese government, we did not back down on the data center. In fact, we actually dug in more. So today's fresh hill is that Utah Speaker of the House Mike Schultz owns 600 acres near the Stratos project site. As one normally does, we were scrolling around looking at the parcels of land that are right around the proposed data center. And wouldn't you know it, we happened upon a little parcel of land with the owner name being labeled as Mike Schultz Inc. And it doesn't
Yeah, so this guy Mike Schultz, all right, which he's let's pull him up. And then this guy Kevin O'Leary, he's worth 400 million. Okay, and then you get this guy Mike Schultz, okay, which is I think he's see exactly what he is. Yep, he's a House Speaker. Okay, Mike Schultz. Okay, he's a multi-millionaire. It doesn't go into his exact net worth. Okay, but this shows you that these politicians, there's no politician that's for your favor. Okay, you American people, there's no one in the American government that's operating on behalf of the people. Nobody. Okay, anyone with any type of authority within the American government, they're all operating on behalf of the elites. Okay, your interests are not even considered when they have these councils and conversations. Your interests are not considered. All right, contrary. All right, really, it's the contrary. Okay, your destruction because they want to get rid of a lot of you, man, and make room for these data centers, man. Okay, that's why they're getting ready to hit your ass with the hunter. Okay, with this hunter virus or whatever. Okay, they juice you niggas up. All right, they're gonna create a atmosphere for you to purge each other off. All right, so they can unleash these mercenaries, grid shutdowns. Okay, energy crisis. They getting ready to get rid of a lot of you people, man. They tired of arguing with you niggas, man. Okay, niggas want to be investigators. You, you know, because they went all into this guy, man. You know, I'm gonna slow it down. I think he got to sped up. Let me slow it down so a little bit. All right, so let's play this.
Take a investigative journalist to find that it is in fact owned by the Utah Speaker of the House, Mike Schultz. And these two combined parcels of land total up to about 640 acres. And that 640 acres is just about 3 miles away from the Stratos project site, right next to the freeway interchange. Huh, that's coincidence.
So like any normal person does, you go to the Box Elder County Recorder's office and you pay $1.50 and you can get the deed for that land. And wouldn't you know it, but this piece of property Mike Schultz bought on January 3rd of 2025. And then to put the cherry on top, all of this land he bought for, quote, $10 and other good and valuable consideration. Apparently, this is like a legal term, the $10 and other good and valuable consideration that people use because in Utah, you don't have to disclose how much you bought this property for. So people put $10 because it satisfies what is legally required without having to disclose exactly what they paid for it, if anything. We are not saying that Speaker of the House Mike Schultz bought this because he knew that there was a data center project coming. In a recent interview, he said that he only found out about this project in April with everyone else.
And of course, because historically they've never let us down before, we always take the word of politicians at face value, right? Why is it the politicians are always getting themselves into conflict of interest situations that appear super coincidental? I mean, just in early of 2025, he buys all of this land ahead of the announcement that there's going to be this massive, the world's biggest data center there. What kind of NDA did this guy sign? And what kind of NDAs did the commissioners sign? What kind of backroom deals? Who does benefit from this? We find also historically speaking that politicians benefit greatly from insider trading knowledge that none of the rest of us has access to, and they make their investments.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation.
They take their positions and then they capitalize on those investments and positions.
What we are saying is it is a pretty big coincidence that he owns this much land right next to this data site that he bought last January. He calls himself a farmer and a rancher. But what you might not know is that before he was a farmer and a rancher, he was a developer. Mike Schultz is also a millionaire, and his most recent conflict of interest disclosures list 25 business entities. All of those ranging from hotels in Hawaii to real estate to apartment buildings to his private plane. So Mike Schultz does own some farming and ranching land near Hooper. Said correctly. We're not Chinese operatives. But his businesses operate from Davis to Box Elder County. And for a man who has 30 years of development experience, he might be exactly the right person to look at 640 acres of land right near a project like this and know exactly how much that land is going to appreciate in the next few years.
So after learning all of this, we decided to look at some other places around the country where they have built data centers and what the land value around the data centers have grown to. So according to Land App, land value around data centers has increased between 2 and 4 times its agricultural value. And an organization called CBRE has said that the land around the data center in Loudoun County, Virginia, has increased 16 times compared to the next property value. There are developers that are offering people $4.4 million an acre around other data centers in the United States. Now, we know that Box Elder County is different from Loudoun County, Virginia, or any of these other places, and we are not saying, again, that Mike Schultz bought this property because he knew about this thing that was happening and he knew how much the property value would increase, and he happens to own all of these development companies and construction companies, but these...
And of course, these are just legal disclaimers because anybody with a half a brain understands that politicians aren't this lucky. They do operate on insider information and they do stand to profit greatly from these backdoor arrangements, which means they're in bed with their donors and the people who are giving them this insider tip information and not the constituents that elected him to do what he's supposed to be doing, protecting property and the pursuit of happiness of his constituents.
questions have not...
Yeah, you Edomites that still believe, all right, the Constitution rhetoric, you know, because he's quoting, you know, the duties of these government officials according to the Constitution. Okay, it's never been about that, man. Okay, wake up, Esau. Okay, comb your goddamn hair and wake up, man. It's never been about that, man. They don't care. They never cared. Okay, it was all a lie the whole time. They didn't just start lying. Nigga been lying, man. Okay, niggas don't care. Okay, they're gonna continue to enrich themselves. Okay, and it's to the point now they just playing in your face. And see all this investigating, you know, getting on TikTok, you know, telling all on business and what he got going on. Nah, man, he's just gonna come down with the hammer, man. Okay, you can watch the rest of it, but just show you, okay, that these these Edomites, you know, are beginning to do deep investigation on the government, on these elites, on these schemes and scams, like the average TikToker just going in. And then what would they label? Communist, Chinese, you know, domestic terrorists and all. Yeah, man. So this devil finna accuse and come down, okay, with their hammer, man. Okay. And all these little, you know, investigators. And the scriptures say, what's that? The brother can post that, the second Ezra 6, the Inquisition, I believe 6 and 21, 6 and 19. Okay. But see, these people are doing these things, they're not going to have the head. You see, the Lord put the spirit on us, all right, to expose this devil, and we have a hedge. You see, I believe that's in the book of Jeremiah. I'm gonna segue to another video. Let's go here. Let's put this one. And this one here, I'm like, what is this nigga doing? Okay, I look at this video, it's like, nigga. Yeah, let's play this. Well, yeah, let's get that too in Jeremiah. I want to say it's 15 verses. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 20 and 21. Yep. Yeah, let's get Jeremiah chapter 15, verses 20 and 21. Okay. So it's pressure being put on the devil, man, because he's been called out, man. You know, the Lord got this nigga out there, man. Okay. And so it's gonna this nigga gonna have to come with it, man. The Constitution out the window, man. You know, he start doing what he want. Okay. But he gonna build them data centers because you people can't physically stop him. Okay. All this is okay. The TikTok video is cute. And you know, we use the information, but ultimately, you know, the devil, he gonna go with it, man. It's hard to try to pull this off, man. Okay. 2 Ezra 6 and 18, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So the Lord is getting ready, he's drawing nigh to his place. And it began with him drawing nigh to his people, beginning with the prophets, man. Okay. Because since the Lord has raised up the prophets, man, okay, the end of Esau's kingdom has accelerated. Okay, to the point that you know, this devil, he's at the doorstep, okay, of crashing everything to try to pull off this new world order. You see, like I say, he can't keep waiting because More people are just gonna, because he needs people to believe a lie. Okay, the way that his kingdom works is that people, the masses, need to believe a lie. Okay, in order for him to pull this off, man. So he can't keep waiting because the lie is unraveling, man. Okay, the paper trail, niggas. Hey, you see, people on his tail, man. Okay, verse 19 it says, "And will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled." Okay, so the Lord has a deep inquisition. All right, there's a major inquisition which goes into intense questioning and investigating, man. And it begins with the prophets. Okay, that spirit of inquisition begins with the prophets, man. And you have that third witnesses, brothers go into these truthers, these insiders, have these influencers, these alternative news. Okay, and like I say, these data centers are really stirring people up, man, because of how destructive they are to the environment and to these communities, man, especially rural, all right, farmland. Okay, so there's an uprising, man. Okay, and this devil, he's gonna have to deal with it, but guess what? It's bringing him to the king of terrors, man. Okay, everything he's doing, he's being brought to the king of terrors. Okay, so let's oh yeah, then I gotta get that. Well, we are in with that king of terrors. I got one more video to play with this nigga, man. Let's get this one. This is brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. Jeremiah 15:20 says, "And I will make thee unto this people a fence, brazen wall, and they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I'm with thee, all right, to save thee." Okay, so the Lord is making us a fence, brazen wall, and these devils they finna try to come up against this wall, but the Lord is with thee, man. You know, even if which the Lord is gonna allow, certain martyrs, but He's still gonna be with us in it. And then we coming right back, raised up immortal, man. So we still win. You see, he said, "But they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee to save thee and deliver thee," said the Lord. Okay? So the Lord knows that this devil is finna go with his move. Okay, but see, that's when people are going to know who's the chosen, as the scriptures say, because he's gonna roll heavy in America, man. But see, there's a remnant in America, man, that the Lord is going to raise a standard for, man. And the Lord is going to be with. Okay? Then shall be known who are my chosen. Okay? But the Lord is provoking Esau to anger, okay, to make his move, man. Just like he set up Pharaoh for failure, man, to pursue, okay, the tribes. Okay? He set Pharaoh for failure, man. Okay, we look vulnerable. Just like now, we vulnerable as hell. You see, but it's a setup for E. So this man is finna lose, on everything, man. This devil finna lose in every way. Everything that he has cooked up, all right, and that he's getting ready to roll out, he's gonna lose, man. Most High finna counter this nigga and everything that he's trying to do. Jeremiah 15:21, it says, "And I will deliver thee out of the hand of the wicked, and I will redeem thee out of the hand of the terrible," man, which is Esau. We're going to be delivered from his power. Okay? We're going to be delivered from everything that the devil is getting ready to attempt to do, man. And the brother, I think the brother got that definition too. Let me see. See. So you go into the word inquisition, it says an inquisition is a severe, prolonged interrogation or a ruthless official investigation. The term originates from historical church, all right, tributes used to suppress orthodox, all right, unorthodox, all right, religious, because you go into the Spanish Inquisition, man, and Esau, he was wilding, okay, he was torturing people, all right, based on so-called heresy against the church. Okay, but ultimately it's an intense interrogation, man. It's a harsh interrogation, man. Okay, and this is what we're seeing in the spirit against Esau. Okay, so let's play this, man. And I seen this, it's like, man, this nigga gotta go, man. Okay, let's listen to this.
The case that we're intolerant. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
The CIA is it was bioviruses, and then you create a vaccine so to counter them, and that's what COVID kind of turned out to be. But there was more to it than that, but that's definitely what it was. And so they've also invented, it's come to everybody's attention, and that Lyme disease was also invented in a lab and put in ticks. And as Dylan Radigan told us on this show, he was bitten by a tick that made him allergic to red meat. And that's another bioweapon. So it's so if you're in a war and the soldiers get bitten by a tick that makes them allergic to red meat, they get violently ill when they try to eat, and then they die. And then so that's how you win that war. So I just want to show you this because there's a lot of stuff happening right now with these ticks. And this is from Tucker Carlson's network.
The cases of Lyme disease are going up. The CDC estimates there are 500,000 cases a year. That's on average 1,300 people a day.
Where do we think this came from?
Lyme disease wasn't a problem till the peak of the biological weapons program in the U.S., the mid-'70s. These three freaky diseases showed up: Lyme arthritis, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and then there was a parasite called Babesia.
So you have a cluster of these previously rare diseases right across from the U.S. government's biological weapons testing facilities. Is that what you're saying?
This is the perfect stealth weapon. It's poor man's nuke.
It's hard to digest all of this. It's just so evil.
We can't control nature. And if we're going to play God and make these new germs inside ticks, there could be blowback, unintended consequences. And that's what I believe could happen.
So that's a definite. There's no, but what's people are reporting recently is that this has been ramped up and that they're being dropped in fields and farmland across America, millions of ticks in boxes. And here's a bit of a video of one of them.
I'm out here mushroom hunting, and I found, there it is right there, the tick box. I'm not going to touch it because there's ticks all over that thing. I know there is. Look at them crawling out of it. Millions of them. You can see.
So that's what people are reporting, not just this one report, but all over the place. People with horses who take care of horses saying we've never seen anything like these ticks. And here is someone saying that they think it's coming. They caught a helicopter dropping this stuff. Let's watch.
I have no clue who these people are, or what they're doing, but they're on our fucking top field. Who the fuck? Literally in our top field. Oh, there they go.
So that was.
So what is this nigga doing, man? You know, and they're saying these ticks, you know, make it to where you're allergic to meat, you know, especially red meat. What is this nigga doing, man? Okay. A badass child that's in power, man. We always get what brother get there, Ecclesiastes 10-16. A badass child that's in rulership, man. What is this nigga doing? Okay. Well, this all plays in the prophecy, man, with different pestilence, man. So now, and he it's a major attack on farmers and people with land and people with agriculture with livestock, it's a major attack, okay, on independent farming or whatever, man. You see? So what is this nigga doing? And this is what this nigga does in his rulership, man. Okay? He turns ticks into bioweapons. And he's finna use a lot of, biochemical warfare, man. Okay, and he's already setting the stage up with this this hunter virus, saying that it's 40%. All right, has a 40% fatality, man, because he getting ready to unalive a lot of people, man. Okay, I'm looking at this, I'm like, what is this nigga doing, man? Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 10:16. This is brother service of Yahweh. Woe to thee, O land. Okay, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning. Okay, so the rulers of the planet Earth, okay, are childish as hell, man. Okay, extremely childish, man, in the way that they go about ruling the kingdom, man. Okay, all this technology and all this wealth this man got, and this is what he's doing. It's like a big child that's just keep running prank after prank, but the pranks are deadly. You see, it's like a child is just getting off on pranking the people, man. Okay, with his wickedness, man. You see, so let's play a little more of this, man.
Back two times they made that trip to that farm, and I just want to let people know, in case you think this is crazy, Robert Malone, who was the doctor we brought on this show at the beginning of COVID, and everything he said about the vaccine and COVID turned out to be 100% correct, which is why the establishment Big Pharma bought media had to discredit him. But he owned several vaccine patents, and he developed the mRNA platform, not that COVID vaccine, but the platform that was built on. And so he's confirmed that radioactive Lone Star ticks were released upon Americans, and over the last several years, there's been a surge in tick-borne meat allergies from, you guessed it, the Lone Star tick. This man in the video is a WEF bioethicist named Matthew Lau, who in 2016 talked about making humans allergic to red meat through human engineering so they wouldn't eat meat so much. So I just want to play this for you.
So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
So you don't have to agree with this. Climate change is a scam, and it's used to do stuff like that to people.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's there it's a total scam. People have no idea, and so this seems to be our own government and being controlled by an international global billionaire class, the WEF globalists. And those are the people who really run things. Your congressmen don't run things. Your president has a boss, which is obvious through this Iran war. And some of the bosses are people like Bill Gates, right? So now Bill Gates funded research into genetically engineered cattle ticks. Now 450,000 Americans have red meat allergies from alpha-gal syndrome caused by tick bites. And I like this meme. How does a guide to get to block the sun, cover your organic fruit in film, insert fake meat into the supply chain, bioengineer mosquitoes to release vaccines without anyone's consent or approval, and not be called a supervillain? So
the devil gotta go, man. Okay, he got way too much going on. Okay, this nigga gotta be stopped, and that's the Let's see, and if a brother can post that too, what's that? Sirach 10 and 10. You know, the brother can post that. But I'm gonna put this in the link and get a couple more. Oh yeah, brother already got his spirit. That's the only solution. Okay, this is the brother from GMS Virgin Islands, Straight Gate, Sirach 10 and 10. It said the physician cut off a long disease, and he that is today a king tomorrow shall die. And the physician is Yahweh Shai, man. You know, and the solution of the planet Earth, all right, is Esau, Edom being removed from power, okay, put in chains, put into captivity, and then being done away with after 1,000 years, man. All right, he is the disease of the planet Earth, man. This nigga is the problem, okay? And if you haven't came to the conclusion that, all right, Esau, Edom, okay, is the problem on the planet Earth, then you're a part of the problem too, man, okay? You see? So let's get this real quick. It's real. We can end it here. This is Brother Beyond Yashala, 144, Job 18 and 14. It said, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. Yeah, because, you know, this devil, you know, his tactics are becoming less effective. Okay? You know, the Most High, you know, got this devil, you know, scrambling, you know, wearied in his counsel. Okay? So his confidence is being rooted out. And every decision that he's making, you know, to try to pull off this new world order, every move that he's making, all right, is just bringing him closer. Every step that he takes to roll out this new world order, he's being brought to the king of terrors, man, which is Yahweh Shai, man. And Yahweh Shai finna deal with this guy, man. And Yahweh Shai is the only one that has authority, okay, to put a stop to the madness of Esau Edom. Okay, and these heathens, okay, that's in cahoots with this nigga, man. You know? So yeah, I'll leave it there. You know, just want to get into that this morning. Touch on a few things. All right. So Lord will you brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to the younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the whole public. Shalom.